gets giddy at the idea because they are planning on going to like a winery or something to do a tour. And as they're riding in the car, Jack reveals that he's been banned, and Josh is just absolutely delighted to hear that fact.
One day. It's not bad at all. You know, we'll be back tomorrow live on there.
What did it say the reason?
Josh will lock out. Well, puke, basically.
What did it say?
Twitch. Wait, you gotta
Sharing bodily fluids.
Yeah, that's why I got banned on Twitch. Thanks, Josh.
Deliberately sharing content featuring bodily fluids.
He just thinks it's so funny. It's just a grand old time. And I feel like there are people like that, you know. Sometimes you see those like ironic TikToks out there of like, oh, you're the class clown in school, but you're actually just like the annoying prick that is loud for no reason, doesn't actually say any funny jokes. That's the vibe you kind of get from Josh, where like he thinks like, yeah, you know, if you're stuck perpetually in the 10-year-old mind frame, you would be sitting there like, yep, this is hilarious. This is a grand old time, 10 out of 10. Otherwise, most other people are like, yeah, this is pretty lame. You just kind of ruined the night and ruined the vibe. Not great. It was a one-day ban on Twitch. Who really cares? You know, you just pick up.
Who wants to be my mod? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller?
And now
Bueller? Anyone? Anyone?
Savior inspired wine tour, and it starts exactly how the mansion ended.
Invitation House CEO. We have 3 different products that we make here. We have a natural wine company called Doctor's Orders.
You just yacked. You just yacked, Chad. You just yacked.
Yo, Michael, what's happening to it? Good? It's okay.
Good?
I just. You're stepping in it, bro. I have a stomach.
Like, there's a lot of people I cover on this channel, dude, but like, you could just take a still frame of any time Josh is hanging out with a large crowd of people, and it just looks like the absolute most miserable, horrible group of people that I would never want to associate in my entire life. You know, it's just like clout chasing broccoli head losers that are seeping, you know, some type of boost off of hanging out with Josh, and it's just like, bro, like, you can't reach that point in your career, especially on like TikTok, where like everything is like a 5-second trend and you're gone. It's like, what's your plan? You're gonna keep trying to hop on Josh whenever you can? It's not gonna work, buddies. It's always just like the biggest dweebs, and Josh interacts with that whenever he's on the streets too, because obviously he has his chaperones that are taking him around to different places, and he explains that the 400 grand he's making, it's just not enough for his caviar eating lifestyle. He should be making over $1
Can't even afford my caviar. I'm eating bologna from a deli counter.
It be like that. So sometimes you gotta get through the trenches to get to the top. You know what
Well, why do I have to be poor? 400 grand a year is not enough.
Just not enough, fam. He needs more money in order to live his lavish lifestyle. And this is around the time a lot of people on TikTok were kind of talking about, if you never heard, there's this like law in Florida that's called the Baker Act, which is basically that like medical or like police personnel can detain somebody to get mental acuity tests if they believe that they have some sort of mental illness. So a lot of people, I remember this a lot when I watched Jason Genova years and years ago. They would make jokes about him being Baker acting and you know, basically being put into a mental hospital or institution somewhere. A lot of people were kind of holding out hope that something like that would happen, because typically when you're like running around making a giant nuisance, and if like police show up and you're saying that there are people chasing you with knives and that your life is in danger and you're screaming and crying that you don't make enough money, I feel like that's enough to a leeway in order to make something happen. But Josh is surrounded by different people, and they would obviously cover for him, and nothing would actually happen. Everybody's hopes that like whatever, an arrest or a detainment or institutionalized, anything like that would happen. It's not happening, dude. Like the biggest scenario that's gonna happen is at some point Josh is gonna get hospitalized for his untreated alcoholism, and you know, we'll see where it goes from there. But like, I'm not pretending like any of his actions are actually gonna have ramifications, because there are instances like this where you have these guys who are following Josh around Miami and just screaming, put the fries in the bag everywhere that they go, and Josh is having a full-blown meltdown. He doesn't know.
Team deathmatch.
Water, he's gonna kick your car.
You want to clear your name? This is where it happens.
Get arrested for that.
I'll fight it. Nice. I'm going ahead. Calls of duty.
Josh, put the period on.
How'd you find me? After me. He found me again. Go! Run! I'm gonna cut out my vocal cord so I can never talk.
Yeah, watch it!
Point where both sides of the war going on, either side, you got guys spending their entire day driving around to pull a goof and a gag on the
Tactical incoming!
but then you like sit there and reflect for a second. You're like, you know, you do it once or twice or whatever. Maybe you're in the area. You're like, oh, let's go. To just consistently follow throughout the entire day. I don't know, dude. And then every time surrounding him are just like let's get out of here. You know, I can't believe people are treating you this way. It's just like, it's so tiresome at this point, man. It's so
Incoming rifle! Throwing tactical. I am not made for this. I do ceramics.
And this is sort of what I'm talking about, like having these public
Throwing tactical.
scenario. Instead,
Enemy field upgrade. Not good.
stuff's going on. Heart attack. He's gonna have a stroke. He's gonna have a seizure.
Push through!
Attempt is well. He does. Some demon starts to possess him.
Here, Josh. Water on your neck.
Call 911. I'm having a seizure. I'm having a seizure. Call 911.
Josh, you're not.
Just kidding. I faked it again.
He's just jerking two cocks at the same time. He can't.
Throwing tactical.
And it's just goofing a gag. A little boy cried wolf. No big deal. And it's kind of like. You're like, yes, I get it. He's just being dramatic for dramatic's sake. But like, one of these days, something's gonna happen, dude. Like,
Tracking enemy.
I don't know,
established overhead.
Crazy bit from Josh, and then he's gonna fall. But to finish off this video, we got these nice little clips. Josh is gonna.
Hey, incoming lethal!
Everybody's coming after him, so I'll leave you with that.
I'm gonna send you to Saudi Arabia.
Target ID. Bad guy.
Flashbang incoming.
We gotta keep up with everybody.
Who's falling behind?
I'm scared. Get some.
It's all good, bro.
Incoming lethal!
It's fine.
I'm gonna die of a heart attack.
Enemy UAV inbound.
Yeah, watch it!
We take control. Come on, you're losing this fight.
I probably should not be operating heavy machine.
Lead guard.
Oh, I see you.
This shit ain't working. We've lost the advantage.
There's an enemy.
We got the lead. Now hold it.
Jordy never changes.
I've heard of the war on comedy. This is ridiculous.
Straight out of Conway, South Carolina.
Damn it, we've lost the lead.
Hosted Fat Cat.
You gonna let a bunch of company assholes beat you? Fight back, damn it!
Instead, something miraculous happened. Wings blamed his wife for all of his transgressions, insinuating that she was the source of all
Upgrade. Destroyed.
that a 400-pound cornered pimp taken online anger management class, depression, Dark Souls streams. But then, not even a month later, King Boogie welcomed Wings back.
They're the CIA. You think they were just gonna let you walk all over
I
it?
am way too blazed for this right now.
The show would need to find a new host. And these children came in this time.
Oh, I see you.
It is now the time for potential reconciliation.
Nobody told me there would be blood. Using lethal.
More staged and fake live streams, baiting the audience. Because if my time covering lolcows has taught me one thing, it's that Jordy never changes.
A little over Wings of Redemption body slammed his wife into a table on live stream for the entire world to see because he was trying to fight an angry gnome who called him out for being bitch made. Ironic. In the subsequent weeks, an unbelievable amount of cope, seethe, and self-flagellation has taken place. Almost immediately upon returning home, Wings was in total self-preservation mode. He put out this statement owning up to his actions, only to immediately find an excuse for why it wasn't really his fault. He notified the audience along with Keem and Boogie that he would be participating in an online anger management class. He even showed a screenshot with his notes. Also shown in that screenshot was him watching a Fallout permadeath speedrun and chatting with fellow Outcast Becky on Discord. Keemstar even called out this fact on stream.
I asked Becky and Wings what they were talking about, just based out of curiosity.
Domination.
Becky's DMs are
All
open
targets
and
declared
screenshots
hostile.
of Wings
Happy
posts.
hunting, Crimson.
And apparently
Securing
Becky
C.
reached out to Wings to ask him if he's okay.
Charlie secured.
It's just mind-blowing. Like, if you're on that,
We've taken the lead. Stay on task.
Becky will reach out to
Locking
you.
down Bravo. Secured.
One pimp was wasting no time to reflect and try and garner good graces from the audience. Mysteriously, he only mentions the first two stages in anger when discussing his troubles. Almost like he's half paying attention.
All zones are being locked
trying
down.
to display himself as some sort of expert on the topic. While like this, he
like I'm not in a good headspace. Like some of the things that like anger management has taught me is first. Got one. Was stage 1 of anger. Like, I know it sounds stupid as fuck, but like stage 1 frustration, and like my way to like build
Losing B.
is to make fun of them. So like if I'm making fun of your car or like making fun of like something you're wearing, in a roundabout way I'm trying to be friendly.
Enemy deleted.
Why they don't take it?
Taking A.
I've always felt like doing the standard thing is played out.
Jordy tries to thinly take ownership for his previous shortcomings.
Bravo
He
locked.
understands that
They're taking C.
Hold them back.
Taking Bravo underway.
played the victim.
Assist me on this OBJ.
Context.
Bravo zone secure. We lost Charlie.
Maybe Powerbomb can finally make the owner understand that consequences have actions.
I know people say online anger management
Taking C.
Wait. Don't you mean actions have consequences?
Securing Charlie.
but I have learned some things online anger.
All zones locked. We control zone C. Taking B.
Locking down the air.
All these people that go out here
Securing B.
Get out, back.
myself. It was my actions that influenced them.
Requesting
It was
recon
years
above.
of broken
UAV
relationships
established overhead.
and like that's something I myself has to work on.
We've given up the
See
lead.
what you're saying, man?
UAV NTL 50%. Check.
I'm never gonna live it down, and I shouldn't live it down.
Securing zone A. We're losing Charlie.
Does Kelly look great or something? What's going on with her? Good for her. Good for her. We shouldn't. It's whatever.
She wouldn't have got pushed. I thought
Peace be upon you, Allah. Assalamu alaikum.
Understand is how frustrating situations in a game can derail the rest of their lives. Past life
Locking down Bravo.
Hold them back.
I learned to replace minor inconveniences or injustices.
We knocked down.
And children.
They're taking C.
somebody laugh or like trying to get a laugh out of other people at somebody else's expense. I'm your man when it comes to this.
We lost B.
Like one of the things like I want to
Taking Alpha.
head on, but that's probably not the way to do it. Don't test my gangster, don't stand up. 'Cause I'll stand
Taking
up
Bravo
against somebody.
underway.
That's a form of
We're losing
insecurity.
Charlie.
here putting up this.
Hostile
front,
moving.
Bravo is ours.
do all this when
They're
reality.
taking C. We lost C. Securing Alpha.
Hold them back.
Taking C.
Hostile shooter.
Charlie, locked down. Objective locked down. Hold the enemy back. We're losing Charlie.
To get frustrated and mad because you're not getting
We lost Charlie.
is a sign of
Losing
immaturity,
Bravo.
and it's a sign of and it's a sign is a stage 2 of anger, right? So
Simultaneously, as Wings is expressing his supposed shame for his actions, let's go on. It's pretty apparent
Locking down Charlie.
that neither
Learn it.
Bravo lost.
they spend an entire stream grasping at any semblance of sadness
Taking B.
or anger or compassion, and it all falls flat and just feels inadequate.
He locked down.
Arcade is
It's just hard.
Shut the fuck up, Bobby.
We're winning. Keep it that way.
He says if the fight stops, Wings is so enraged, it has spiraled into this monster that cannot be contained.
The pushing me stuff is like, dude, me and my friend,
Destroyed your trophy system.
we wrestle.
We lost B.
I don't fucking care. Me and my show must go on type of shit, right? But obviously, you can't have violence on the fat kid. Wings is actually unhinged.
Securing
this
B.
is not a moment of aggression.
Target down the air.
10 minutes away from each other.
Bravo is ours.
So there's a cooldown period. It's not happening.
Apparent that Scott called the cops to the camp to report Wings. Keen confirms
Taking
that
C.
this did happen and that he opted to lie to the police officers.
Bravo
It
lost.
was all a script. Nothing happened so that they would just go away.
Locking down Bravo.
Hold them back.
I have to go deal with stuff, and I get Mike to go with me.
B secured.
We got a call from Lord Rush that the police were coming to talk to us, right? And we stood out the gate. We talked to the cops. We're like, hey, look, this is all a skit. We're just having fun. He goes, well, what's that big scratch on your
Marking down
Securing
the air.
C. Losing C.
pushing match, da 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 da. Everything's fine. So the cops leave.
We're losing Alpha.
And I went to go talk to Kelly.
coming flat.
Learned your fucking lesson yet?
Locking down Charlie. Losing Bravo.
Everything's fine. Well, thank you so much.
We lost B.
Thank you. And I go, you guys need to go, right? And so
The audience was bewildered that Keem was
Bravo underway.
nor anyone else would actually press charges. How could you predict
Securing Charlie.
Get it, Cap. Hold them back.
Bravo zone secure.
or even a month later?
Get out!
If she had any semblance of self-respect, she'd see the video of her husband deliberately push her. If that were the case, I think a police report at least documenting the situation would be beneficial for her should she want to pursue that course of action. Also, wouldn't that just open up an obstruction charge against her?
Trophy system eliminated.
Relevant because we all understand that this would actually ever
Losing B.
Move up. Enemy flashbang.
lied to the cops. Are we good?
You can say that live, bro?
Bring mine.
I lied to the cops.
Losing Bravo.
There we go.
You should never say that publicly if you did.
Actual criminals right now. He's pressing charges, so I'm not going to waste the cops' time. You know what I mean? I'm not going to waste
Losing A.
my time or the cops' time, to be honest.
I think that whole decision is just he reveals that immediately sent to the cabin. Kelly admits that Wings
Lost A.
for the fall.
Securing C.
And I stop and I go, Kelly, are you okay? And Kelly responds to me,
Zone C secure.
he's blaming me for ruining his career. And I go, Kelly,
Taking Alpha.
you are not to blame for this.
We're ahead, but stay alert. Marshal speaking in those teams.
Using Archangel.
All right, and I will try to fix this mess. That's what I told them, or Kelly at that moment.
The idea that Wings will ever meaningfully removed from Loldown Live is just a farce. If you look at their numbers today, people are boycotting and their shows are doing worse than ever without him.
All threats neutralized. Scour the area. Find whatever they're hiding.
On how they can monetize and give a path back for Wings while he takes his meaningless anger management course.
All right, we know he's fired, right? And then I think it's the next day he starts sending us. And we're like, holy shit, okay, good, right? So now the door is to crack open again, okay? And we kept going back and forth like this for a while, right? Like it got bad, and then it looked like there was hope, and then it got bad, and it looked like there was hope. And then when we left, I'm literally, 2 hours driving out. And me and Wings, we get on the phone. And we wanted to talk about him getting better, but also making content of him getting better, meaning that like the audience can see him actually doing the anger management or whatever the fuck it would be, right? So we're kind of having that conversation.
I swear Keem has some sort of either humiliation or superiority fetish, because the loops this man is willing to jump through for a perpetual failure to launch Lolcow, who at this point is demanding a severance package, is absolutely bizarre.
Me and Boogie got on the phone with Wings, and we had a big fucking fight. It was me, Boogie, Wings, and Kelly. And the four of us, one hell of a fight. And me and Boogie brought up something that's been bothering us every one of these live events, and that's where Wings goes home early and, we make the bulk of the money. And so when we brought up that, immediately Kelly started screaming at me that I was greedy. And then the conversation with Wings ended with him saying, just fucking pay me my money, I'm out. Right?
Yep.
Conversation ends. Me and Boogie get in a private call, and we're like, kind of a sense of relief, like, okay, Wings is out. He's going to be paid per the contract.
The reason that everyone thinks the entire show is fake, is because it's almost inconceivable that a man would willingly get humiliated by his tarred, moronic employees time and time again, only to graciously welcome them back with open arms after one of their transgressions.
When have I ever screwed Wings of Redemption over on fucking money? When? I've only made him a ton of money. That's all I've done. I've done way more work than my percentage on this show. Shit, I'm worth at least 80% with how much people do for the fucking show. All right? I only take 50. They both had 25, and that got aired out. And the first thing I hear out of Kelly and Wings' mouth today is, well, we knew you were going to screw us over.
Keem proceeds to try and play it up like they're inside some sort of moral quandary to keep or get rid of Wings. I was in the streams that continuously voted to have Boogie fired permanently, only for you to choose what you wanted to do. You will do the same thing with Wings. Whoever guarantees you a larger check at the end of each month will be back on the show. If Boogie or Wings were a monetary pitfall, i.e. like Tommy, you'd have cut bait with them months ago. You haven't and won't because it's good for your bottom line.
Where if we had Wings back, half the audience would leave and be very mad. If we don't have Wings back, half the audience we'll leave and be really mad. There is no win for us. This is all just a giant L.
Speaking of money, let's discuss the catastrophic pitfall that Fat Camp truly was. They gleefully display that they earned over $37,000 during their time at Fat Camp.
Lolcow Live is number one. Number one over the last week on YouTube for U.S. channels, bringing in $37,000 of super chat revenue. And
wow.
Normally we wouldn't talk about money, but this is all public on Playboard. So yeah, guys, we fucking owe you big time. The fans definitely came through, even though we had a trillion shortcomings.
Boogie even boastfully says that Lolcow Live, presumably just Keemstar, would cover all expenses from the trip and that the other peripheral garbage spin-offs won't have to chip in their 50 cents to pay off the bills.
A lot of sacrifices were made at Fat Camp. Queens gave up time slots. Rewind gave up time slots. Everybody chipped in. Grim and Beans working. Twiggy working every single day. People spent money traveling and doing all kinds of crazy shit. And Lolcow Live got its bag, right? And so we were looking at the numbers, and I'm not sure that it's going to entirely work out in the wash, but at the end of the day, me and Keem have decided that Lolcow Live, me and Keem, will pay for all of the expenses for Fat Camp. Queens won't have to chip in, Rewind, Mommy Milkers, none of these shows. We're going to take care of it.
Lolcow Live is paying for Fat Camp.
Keemstar plays the victim and claims that they won't make any money off of Fat Camp, which is true. The site of Fat Camp cost $35,000 plus, and they brought in $37,000 minus YouTube's cut, and they're left with $26,000. Mind you, Keemstar predicted they make $100,000 during the trip and didn't even bother to scout out the site or get a production crew together beforehand. This doesn't take into account the cost of everyone transporting to the location, equipment, or even food. It's not infeasible to think that they lost around $20,000 on the trip unless there's some sort of special backer or outside donations that I'm unaware of.
To give him a severance bonus after every.
Who the fuck's that guy?
Do you know how much money I'm making this fucking for March? Zero. And on top of that, I get told by fucking Kelly, right, that I'm greedy. I get told by Kelly and Wings, right, that they knew I was gonna scam them this month. I don't deserve any of this. Any of this. We lost any potential profit we would have made this month, or I did.
And I think
the chat begins to lay into Keem, saying that they only really made money after Wings pushed Kelly and was forced to leave. Now Keemstar has these numbers, but refuses to show them to the audience. I wonder why. Not like Keemstar has ever been untruthful in the past.
And also just false, all right? I have the numbers. I have the proof that you're wrong, fucker, right? Like, I got the data.
In a desperate attempt to prove to the audience that they're still great and everything is looking on the up and up, Keem glazes himself and the show, boasting a healthy community and great plans for the future. Like the brains of the viewers who donate to keep this show alive, everything is half-baked and is comprised of grandiose ideas with lackluster execution.
It's like, you know, and I'm not great. I don't care. Like, whatever. I knew that I was investing a bunch of money into the betterment of this brand and this company by doing this crazy Fat Camp thing. But it didn't turn out that way. I've lost so much. His discords and communities, period. Like, it's so
Overdrive.
Nice. And I get compliments.
Earn elimination medals to increase your combo score.
It's like there is no doxing. There is none of this nonsense.
How virtuous we all are, and how Wings has destroyed everything related to it. It would also be a good idea to post a complete fool's tweet. So which is it? Are we completely disgusted with Wings' behavior and have zero tolerance towards spousal abuse? Or is it locales. We can't expect them to be upstanding citizens. Maybe it was all to set up the absolute boneheaded decision of Wings to break
Sniper,
his
find
NDA
cover!
and
Toss it
infer
flat!
$40,000 if he left the show. Tommy C still owed him money for what he left. Somehow, these locales go years and years not understanding that everything they say is put under a microscope.
Give you the benefit of the
Bound to
doubt.
get Jordy in trouble.
Hey, Jordy, are you
Move it! Maybe. The higher I get, the better I shoot.
want to be like up front or?
Located shot.
Unsurprisingly, this spirals the Locale Live crew into bitching and moaning that a man with zero impulse
Enemy care package above.
control his impulses. The NDA exists so that they can fabricate a shitload of money, and Wings loves to skew things into looking sympathetic for himself.
I am.
TACCOM, authorized care package. TACCOM, give me a UAV. Air cannons up.
Sent it directly to one of his detractors, right? Have him breaking the fucking NDA and just airing out like finances, which he's not supposed to do.
It seems people are still. The reason for this is because Keemstar portrayed the show as being a four-way ownership. I believe that changed when he bought out Tommy C, thus making him the majority owner and therefore being the boss and the one that coordinates the contracts with the two other balloons.
I don't know how to explain this any more. I am the company. Information that I can say whatever I want. It doesn't matter, right? If the one that has signed the NDA with me, the company, they're the ones that can't leak shit.
Deliver care package on my location.
Wait, I don't.
Target's marked for LDVR. Kane requesting UAV.
Nothing more.
It's finally time for Boogie. Wow. The most morally corrupt, horrible member of the larger morally grandstand once again.
Enemy deleted.
Any of the other transgressions that he's done in the past 5 minutes.
That really burns a bridge.
Sentry turret active.
Come on, man. It don't have to be
When Boogie puts on his bad boy persona. Haven't left my chair in the past.
Fuck Boogie.
Trust me, he'd kick your ass if he caught up to you. Persona, you got to be the least bit
Molotov going out!
and portray that while it probably won't get violent, if it did, you can handle your own.
Hostile LDV detected.
Stepping stone for truckers to spend water to get into the cabin of their truck. Nothing else.
Let's go! Enemy springback!
The lead is on.
How many times have I offended him on
Kane requesting LDVR fire mission.
I've done everything
Kane marking care package DZ. Recon.
You're falling behind, Crimson.
If it gets better one day, maybe one day, maybe one day. Done with that, done with that, done with that. No, done. Fucking done. You don't want my help. I don't want to give it to you. We agree on that. We don't agree on a lot of things, but whether or not it's okay to slap your wife's hand when she's driving.
Task construction cross. Authorization change.
Shove people around. We don't agree on that.
You're supposed to be the CIA's best. Act like it.
Fix your shit. Do it in an entertaining
Report to the nearest extraction point. I have to make a call.
That's the and then tried to downplay every fucking thing. You came back to try to tell the internet they were wrong. Guess how many times this worked for a YouTuber ever? Zero.
Hostile sighted. Alpha, Tango, the battle word. Okay, this is kind of fun. I can't do battle.
If the age of consent is higher than 12, he wants nothing to do with it. You get the point.
Based on the conversations I've had with Jordy, he's never enjoyed the showmanship of the show, right? He's never enjoyed the live events. He's never enjoyed the traffic. He's never enjoyed that aspect of the show. What I think Jordy wants, I think he wants to call in once a week and do a 4-hour show, talk about fights, talk about guns, sell dick pills, and be done. That's not the vision Keemstar has for this company, nor me, nor Mike, nor Tina, nor anybody else.
And at this point, Wings can't help himself. He describes the whole situation as a case of gravity just doing its thing, 62 IQ in full effect, forgetting that an object at rest stays at rest unless acted upon by another force. I don't recall gravity just randomly toppling my ass over as I go to walk outside. I'm not factoring in the gravitational pull of multiple fat guys at the same time of impact, so we might need somebody smarter than me to figure out the gravitational pull on Kelly at the moment she interacted with the dwarf planets, Wingo, Boogio, and Billy the Frigo.
In front of him. And what happened was we were in between the table and the couch, so there was little space. So why I said I tripped was because when I was bumped, I felt my feet come up and hit the table, and I tripped on the table legs and flipped back. That's why I said I tripped. Obviously, when you look a little bit more, it does show that I tripped. There's a reason I tripped, but it wasn't intentionally, and you can tell the moment he realizes who he had pushed.
Well, she's saying this now. I mean, you guys are not giving her time to explain herself. Here, the truth of the fact is this. I was mad.
Kelly, when he pushed you, your legs were up against the table, so you fell. That's the truth.
And it looks like I just power bombed her onto the table, but a lot of that was just gravity doing its thing. Let me say this.
Jesus Christ.
Anger management is to admit that you have anger issues. And that's what people are questioning me about when I say I don't really feel I have anger issues. I mean, there is some anger issues there, right? There's a lot of things I've done that didn't equate to violence, but it was moral anger.
Listening to this 40-year-old landmass try to explain how he finally is
40-year-old landmass. Jesus Christ.
Of anger like a 5-year-old is literally mind-melting. It's akin to a mid-30-year-old iDubbbz explaining how he's garnered the power of empathy halfway through his life.
I think somebody team killed me, and I asked Skatecode to team kill him, and then I got mad that Skatecode refused to team kill him because he wasn't a part of it. And that is a form of anger. And I'm like, oh, and then once I realized that, I started seeing other connections of actual anger that I had inside me, because anger doesn't just, illustrate itself in a way of you don't got to be beating somebody to the ground to have anger issues.
The hosts of Lolcow couldn't keep their money-grubbing hands off an opportunity to exploit a serious situation for their own financial windfall. Wings explains that he has to heal from the experience. It takes a lot out of a plump pimp when he deliberately assaults his wife to win a childhood shit-off match with his boss.
Hey, don't go to Lolcow as a trap. See, like, I don't like that's why I'm so nervous, Ress, because like I'm not mentally prepared. I'm not mentally prepared to have that conversation yet, and they're kind of forcing me into this conversation I'm not mentally ready for. And I feel like if I don't have the conversation right now, it's going to close a door that I don't completely want closed yet, but at the same time I don't want to go on there and say some shit I'll regret because I'm not completely in the right headspace for it. Again, I don't want to get into the Lolcow stuff. I wish nothing for the best for them. If there might be some time where I go back on the show, there might not be, because I haven't fully like dealt with all the emotions I have from the situation on camera and off camera. And I feel like the most mature thing to do is have time to heal from it.
However, like the bitch he is, he gleefully returns to the show and immediately makes light of the situation by making a punching joke. Read the room, bozo. Boogie even interjects saying everyone online is just too sensitive nowadays. The big bad boy even apologizes to Wings for being too mean. It's one of the most perplexing things I've seen in a while. Keem and
Kill confirmed. Pacify the AO, kill team.
Lesson yet?
Bad optics, because like I said before, like we had one. Like I was cold. I was mean to her.
Taking fire!
I'm
Enemy minute.
Madman setting up new fucking stages.
All over you.
Isn't anything crazy. You know, he's not giving Kelly a black eye. It's still like one of these things. And then other people.
Next call. Enemy watchdog Kilo inbound. Damn it, Crimson, that's not good enough.
So we're in Atlanta, and like she gets into heavy traffic. Anybody's ever been into traffic in Atlanta? Atlanta traffic's bad.
Hostile decoy. Full effect on target.
I'm not sure how you can be convinced that Wings has any desire to change when he's adamant that he's in the right over pointless, innocuous shit. Is it so difficult to say, I lost my temper, I'm sorry? Of course it is, because I'd rather explain that he needed to karate chop her hand off and avoid dealing with Hellcat.
As being way worse because of the context of what happened prior.
Yeah, but I think the sound's what makes that clip. It's like
you can clearly hear it. It's like
yeah, but it's skin on skin. It's like the same thing as like a slap, like open hand slap. Just because skin on skin makes a noise, that's like.
Jordy, a real man moves his wife's hand away from the horn on the car he doesn't slap.
That was actually my goal. To move her hand away from the horn, did I do it a little too aggressively? 100%.
Predictably, Keem turns it back on him being the victim and needing the attention. Is he the blame for a 40-year-old, 400-pound man assaulting his wife? You decide on that one, champ.
I can tell you what was going through my mind when I saw the slap video. A million things. Like, oh my God, is this my fault, right? Is the stress of going to fat camp and these guys running on no hunger, right? Did that cause Wings to lose his fucking shit, right? Was that one of the factors? The medication, me and Boogie have been criticized a lot for trying to get you off your medication so you can live life a little bit more like in reality, right? Are we to blame for part of that, right? So it's like, it's very complex.
It all boils down to what is the most believable way Wings can formulate an excuse to get out of this situation. He's just a little weasel that's incapable of owning up to his own wrongdoings. Ultimately, he decides that his medication needs to be adjusted, and he'll be the happy-go-lucky, cheerful, positive person we all know and respect.
And that's why I'm doing the anger management. I'm willing to go do anger management in real life. I did the online classes. I'm going to my doctor to have him revise my medication because like those slip-ups like I did where like I got angry shouldn't exist, which at the same time it's like there's variables, right? Like I said before, like my medicine requires food to be taken. If I don't eat food with it, like I get kind of like, it doesn't affect me, but like I see like color splotches.
But when Wings is pressed, he just says that the all-inclusive free vacation on essentially a resort was just way too long. They keep trying to hand wave away any actual wrongdoing of Jordy's. Oh, he must be hungry, or tired, or depressed, or out of medicine. Every time some person does something stupid on the internet, everyone just jumps to analyze and diagnose these people.
Hardcore.
Some sort of mental
Let 'em have
illness
it, Black
or
Ops.
Newsflash. Some people are just deplorable pieces of shit. You don't need volume.
That's the hard point.
Textbooks.
Hard point is secure. Nice. We'll call it ahead.
Stop giving them away and get out of this.
Are you fucking blind?
But more so,
I would say
Confirming
anger.
hostile. Hard point identified. Hostiles have captured the hard point. Hard point locked down. Hard point set.
Starving yourself.
Hostiles have the hard point.
Driving and, sleeping in something that's not your bed.
Hard point is secure.
I was starving. I was hungry.
Here we go.
That's what it is. That's part of being a fat motherfucker, right? Like,
There's an enemy shooter.
I'm a homebody.
Hostiles have captured the hard point. Hard point located.
Living in a stress-induced
Hard point locked down.
a vacation where you eat and drink.
Hard point active.
Swimming in the lake whenever
Hostiles
you
have the
want.
hard point.
As if this embarrassing
Hard point is secure.
Oki and Keen decided it's just the most toned down
Hostiles have captured the hard point. Hard point locked down.
actually get cancer.
Hostiles have the hard point.
Distribute the weight.
Secure. Hard point identified. Hard point is active.
Oh God.
Why am I so nervous to do this?
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
Because I know I'm about to hurt you?
Hard point locked down.
One more time.
To put a cherry on top.
That was fucking epic. That was fucking epic. That was great. I should sub to Local Live. God damn it.
Deploying RCXD. Hostiles have the hard point.
What'd she say?
Shit. You don't want to know more.
I do want to know.
Hard point located. Hard point is secure. Hard point active. Hostiles have captured the hard point.
Says they're making shots.
Take a break. I'm going to places.
Hard point locked down.
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
Concussion grenade out.
Hard point identified. Hard point locked down. Hostiles have the hard point.
Watch it! Hey, incoming
Hard point
rifle!
set. Hard point is secure.
Be right, right? That's, you know.
Gotta move her.
See what fucking happens.
Did you ever think of that?
UAV standing by.
Taking everything in
Calling
your
in score
hands
streak.
to place
UAV in the territory.
Obvious answer is try to fucking fix it.
Look out! Seth Rogen,
Hard point
motherfuckers!
located.
Obvious answer.
UAV fuel check
Do you
50%.
not get it? If there really is a situation
Marking
going on in the
location.
household, right? If there really is something going on in this situation,
Archangel going hot. Hard point active.
pushing them
Your
to
focus
get
system is
There's
outside
an
the
enemy shooter!
TACOM. The flying on UAV returning to base.
situation.
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
Resupply this road for Cali Bud.
RCX team maneuvering.
Good effect on target.
Really? Really? There's not a single fucking person on the internet's ever gonna forget that.
Enter McJones. Just allowing wings to
Hard point locked down.
Keen,
Hostiles have the hard
I've
point.
been on your shit list in the past.
No.
Hard point identified.
Somebody coming at you.
Hard point is secure. Hostiles have captured the hard point. Hard point active. Hostiles have the hard point.
Marking LVB
Enemy
on
field
target.
upgrade. Not good.
Hard point locked down.
Hey,
Great on their heels. Hit them hard. Hostiles have captured the hard point. Hard point is secure.
using field upgrade.
Hostiles have the hard point.
And he's got to work on all those things. He just does, you know?
Tactical incoming!
Hard point located.
Operator establishing score streak.
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
I could probably turn this
Hard
thing
point
into a
active.
bomb.
Hard point is secure. Hostiles have the hard point.
Hostile sighted.
Thanks for the work.
Death Machine sucks.
Like, I am shocked that she doesn't have a concussion.
Enemy field upgrade. Not good.
Hard point locked down.
There's still fallout from the nuclear bomb that went off. And I think but then also
Hard point is active.
I mean,
Tactical
Hostiles
incoming!
have captured the hard point.
history is clouding the judgment of it, and then also just him being part of the cash coming in.
Hard point is secure. Hostiles have the hard point. Hard point locked down.
saying that they are taking money from him or ruining
Hardpoint located. God damn, I love this game. Victory.
Hey,
Hotel
someone should make
Sierra.
a movie about this. Or even better, someone should make a video game about this. Oh, wait. Never mind.
Enemy was sent out. Incoming lethal.
So if I can exploit both of them to make money, don't I owe them like help to actually get better and be successful and like all around be better humans? Like, don't I owe them that much?
At the end of the day, Juggernuggets wanted to throw his name in the hat to become the next host. People understand that Wings will probably ultimately return at some later date.
What is your current going forward with the third spot in the show? Because what's up, baby? I'm that third host, dude. I'm already here.
No, there's no plan. Me and Boogie said that we would not make any decisions on the third host for a long time.
Wings is not so certain about having this cash flow, however. So let's see what his personal streams have been like. On one hand, Wings is in full damage control, still parroting the idea that the internet makes him out to be something that he is not.
So, like, is Wings of Redemption a character? And I understand, like, a lot of you guys only get to view me through the eyes of a camera. No, I'm not as bad as I seem on camera. They want you to punch me on stream. Punch me right here. There you go.
The top hat makes a glorious return, and Wings and Kelly reminisce about the good old times, still decreeing that they won't give money to the show. It's sad how much of a parasocial relationship Wings has with the internet. These faceless accounts are more than likely trolls, yet Wings still holds them in high regards.
Oh yeah, because like, you remember what I told you was like my biggest grievance about the whole thing with Boogie?
No, what was it?
Where he like made it appear on the episode that they made sure I had a safe place to go and that I was okay.
All right, let's not talk about this on stream.
Well, you were the one that asked.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be something different. Like when you talk about this, you're just gonna put this on Locale Live.
I know. Well, that's why I didn't want to, and you were the one that I wanted you to just be like, yeah.
And we get more phone calls like we got the other day.
I miss the fans of Locale. Like,
Like for me, the reticle track can just like stop here. All these other ones are fine, but wait. Oh, never mind. But the minimal. Are these the same reticles from Cold War? It feels like they are. Because I remember the one from Cold War being just like the minimal one. It's perfect. It's even better than this. Like, what is this? This is the ultimate acquire your target reticle. What's the point of any other ones? I can guess what. Guess who's back? That was fucking weird as shit. All right. But that's why y'all come here, right? For the weird shit. No one's here. Dude, look at this fucking outfit, Jack. So weird. Why does he look like he's 1,000 years old? I am literally older than Seth Rogen. And they made him look like he is fucking 65. Age is a bitch. Like, they should just set 20 as like you're an adult at 20, period. That's it. When you're no longer a teenager, you are now an adult. That's the line. Boom. Can we just stop talking about it? And like, people, if you're 20 and above, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can be with who you want. Doesn't matter how old they are. Nothing fucking matters. 19 below. Y'all just you are children.
Discord.
I missed the fans in the Discord.
That's what I miss. But I refuse to pay the money to Keem and Boogie. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, I miss the fans more than I miss anything. Like I said,
Like-
it was nice to make the money, but like having people that generally wanted to like be your friend and talk to you, like that's what I miss the most.
Wings has been extremely dependent on Kelly, essentially guiding the content of his channel. Outside of rages and saying stupid shit, Wings hasn't produced meaningful or interesting content since he was on PKA. If Kelly isn't there to assist in the content, then we're going to be...
I'm essentially saying that the age of consent should be 20. That's what I'm saying.
Stuck with depression, Fallout, or Dark Souls.
And that there shouldn't be, the idea of problematic age gap should not exist if you're over 20 years old. Is that fair? Fair?
Streams. It's an enigma that this
Team
man
deathmatch.
thinks will help pay the bills,
Shoot to kill.
give
We're
him
not here to negotiate.
We gotta switch seats.
Because I want you to talk to them.
Okay.
I was watching the stream and you're like, yeah, Kelly's on the way to turn. It's your chat. Why you acting like it's your chat? Entertaining them is your responsibility.
We had planned the stream.
Night, night, motherfucker.
I have bosses that say, guess what? You gotta
Trophy neutralized!
And I was like, okay, yeah, we got it. And then I'd be unemployed.
I didn't know this. Like I'm kind of blah with like video games right now. And like the only thing I really want to play is like some stuff mindset. Dark Souls content, like for me, like is my depression game.
Hostile decoy!
It got me through.
Enemy deleted!
Like it's my comfort.
God, Wings, bro. You need to understand there's some kind of shit that when you expose, like, it's not going to get people to be like,
to make Kelly feel better. It's
like, make you more relatable. It's not. This kind of exposes you for being insecure. You shouldn't expose your insecurities. You should work on your insecurities.
Deeply annoying. They're made for each other, quite honestly.
I asked him why am I annoying?
I think a lot of it is the tone. Like,
That's my tone.
right, like,
I love the Blue Moo Moo too. It's very comforting.
it's good. Customer service voice is kind of good.
Streams of Kelly are just as miserable. It's akin to
crazy, but it sometimes really seems like that, like Wings is a narcissist, which is fucking bonkers. I mean, whatever. That's definitely some armchair psychology going on right there. But like, but why does it keep fucking up? There's this problem in everyone. Insecurity is it's the motherfucker. Insecurity will destroy your life if you let it. This idea of most people when they're dealing with their insecurities feel like they're the only ones on the fucking planet. They have to deal with it. When it's like it couldn't be more opposite. Everyone deals with insecurities. You just gotta let that shit go. Let it go. Let everything go. Let your life go. Stop taking shit seriously. And just like, follow your passion. Which I do. But don't listen to me because I'm a fucking idiot and a psychopath. And have no idea what I'm doing, where I'm going, or what the point of everything is. Love you, smoochies.
Status quo.
Why are you a little on edge?
I'm not blaming either.
On the move.
Like, this causes me anxiety because I know she's not even trying.
I have a hot dog. Hello? You see this?
I mean, don't do that. I mean,
MTC's nearly dry. Get serious, Crimson.
like Keemstar, don't show my Hulk Hogan or my like office haircut.
Redhead. I'm not a good looking brunette either, so there's that.
You already
We've claimed the advantage. Now hold it.
your hair's like auburn.
That looks cute, dumb fuck.
You look like you're ready to see the manager right now.
Bro, that's a cute hair. Yo, you need to stop talking about how people look, motherfucker. Stop talking about how people look. Shut up. Fucking work on yourself, ass fucker. Not that there's anything wrong with fucking ass.
Pimp just wasted hundreds of dollars on equipment that he'll never use or only use once in order to post one video that performs poorly and makes him quit altogether.
Disco, that's the idea. The idea is I'm going to start streaming 5 days a week.
Rest and recuperate. Tomorrow you'll be running drills until you drop.
What's happening here? Wow, that's so close. Was I like not in that shit?
Heads, enemy long rifle is active.
That's what I'd like my stream to be.
Distance, no obstacle.
And maybe making vlogs with it. We went and bought these really nice lab mics and camera setups, and like I got a fucking selfie.
I need tattoos.
And shit like that.
All right here. I just convinced myself that. This puts around the corner.
Try to make like 3 or 4 of those videos a month.
As much as things appear like they're going to change, they always remain the same. Even recently, Keemstar and Blue debated Wings' return to the show for the season 2 finale of their podcast, only for him to not actually be there. Wings and Kelly are made for each other, and Locale Live will bring him back in due time, in my opinion. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
You can't do physical violence.
Here is the insane interview that he did with Meet the Press exclusive, where he had a bunch of horrifying moments, horrifying for those who have any semblance of conscience, where in some of the key moments he basically said things like,
Chat, should I resubscribe to Andrew Callahan, Channel 5?
This is kind of difficult to follow due process, things of that
Was he canceled too brutally?
Let's take a look.
He did he didn't have a bad response to like the particular accusations hit against him, but it was just like he got fucking bricked. He had to lay low for a minute. I don't know. I need more discourse on the Andrew Callahan situation. I need him to. I need more explanation, like. Like, was he canceled? Was his cancellation uncalled for? Or wasn't it? And if it wasn't uncalled for, then why should we accept him back? I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. I want to know more. I want to love Channel 5. All Gas No Brakes was like such a good name for a YouTube channel when I first came out, and I was like all about it. And then like the whole crazy bullshit happened, and Channel 5 was where it was at. But then like the accusations came out first, and I was kind of like, is this a thing? And then it became a thing. And like he seemed to be like, he was apologetic. He was like, yo, I'm super sorry. But then like, but he was like destroyed, it felt like, at the moment. I'm just glad he didn't see. I mean, I felt like for a moment he was going to shift to the right. He kind of was indicating that a little bit, but I don't think he is. I think he's too smart for that, which is why I'm thinking about giving him a second chance, which is why, like, I wish there was more discourse around what was going on with the situation. His, you know, what's going on with this particular accuser right now is, you know, like, what's happening here? Is he a creep or not? He doesn't seem like a creep, but like someone said some shit about him, and I like those. I don't know, whatever, dude. It's so fucked. I guess we're just supposed to forget about it, like it didn't happen or something. I don't know, dude. I want to like Andrew Callahan and watch his shit really bad because he's great and his channel's great. Everything's great, but like if he's a creepo, like he doesn't deserve the views. He doesn't deserve, like, you know what I mean? He needs to like figure something else out. But there's no discourse. It's just all of a sudden he was back, and no one's talking about it. It's just like he's back. He got fucked out of the HBO show. Like, dude, what's going on? I need more info. I need a Andrew Callahan full. Maybe I should watch the PVD interview. Maybe he gets into it. But I don't know. All I know is that I want to like his shit, just like I want to like Louis C.K. Man, I'm sorry, that's really fucking gross to say, and like that can get me canceled probably saying, but like, I mean, funny is funny is funny, and like those two guys are super funny, and like unless they committed crimes, you know, because people should be forgiven for being weird. If they're just like coming to be weird, but if you're doing something criminal, it's like you have to answer for that. But if you're just being like a cringe lord, repo kind of, like it happens to the best. I don't know, dude. It doesn't even matter. I take comfort in the fact that I'm probably not going to get caught up in any shit because no one wants anything to do with me. And unless I decide to charge myself, because that's the only person I ever hang out with is me, which is a plus. Sometimes you'd be like, oh, you're so lonely, but it's like, well, at least I'm never going to like get accused of anything. All I do is hang out with myself. I'm not trying to fucks with nobody. I ain't trying to cause no trouble for nobody. As long as you don't cause trouble for me. Smoochy poochies. Oh my god. Do I have more? God, I can't believe this is the last of what I gotta drink tonight. I don't know if I can.
success.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here to mark your first 100 days in office. It has been an incredibly busy 100 days. You've signed more than 140 executive orders. You've been focused.
When he starts taking Q&As, we'll get to Trump live.
Designed to ensure,
by the way, because he's
jobs
signing
and
executive orders again, and he's most likely going to do a Q&A afterwards. But when the Q&A starts, we'll get to it. But before the Q&A, we'll listen to some of his statements here.
Focused on the border, the economy, foreign policy. What is your biggest goal in the next 100 days?
Well, I think we're going to see a lot of results. We've already seen them on the border. We have the best border in the history of our country. It was 99.999, and nobody ever thought that was possible. In fact, Biden, if you remember, said he has to get legislation. And I said, no, you just need a new president. And I guess I was right. We have the best border we've ever had. We're doing great on illegal immigration. We are being hit hard by judges that I think they're trying to take away the power of the presidency. I was elected in a massive landslide and a big vote. We won the swing states. We won the popular vote. We won the district votes by tremendous numbers. We won everything. And one of the primary reasons I was elected was to get people out of our country that were allowed. We have prisoners, we have murderers, we have terrorists in our country, we have people from mental institutions that are seriously insane. They all came.
He's just saying the same blah blah bullshit. And he has been for years, dude. He's old. He's too old. Trump's done. Donezo. And his kids don't have the riz. They don't have the aura to follow through to keep this shit going.
Some really bad criminal people, and they're here illegally. So, they talk about your next question will be due process, but they talk about due process, but do you get due process when you're here illegally?
We're going to talk about all of that. We are going to talk about deportation, but I want to start on the economy, sir, which obviously the biggest issue for voters. We got new numbers today, better than expected job numbers.
Much better.
At the same time, the economy shrank in the first quarter. You've been arguing all week that this is President Biden's economy. Is this now your economy, sir?
Well, I think certain aspects of it are. Costs are. I was able to get down the costs, but even that, it takes a while to get them down, but we got them down good. We lost $5 to $6 billion a day with Biden. $5 to $6 billion. And I've got that down to a great number right now in a record time. We're talking about
deathmatch. Hello, I'm Seth. CIA, you're cleared hot. Work your frag list.
A day we're losing on trade, and we were very tough with China.
We've taken the lead. Stay on task.
Nobody's ever heard of such a thing, and we've essentially cut off trade relationships by putting that much of a tariff on. And that's okay. Cold turkey. That means that you're not losing. We lost $1 trillion to dollars. That means we're not losing. Killed that guy. Cold turkey. With them right now, and they want to make a deal. They want to make a deal.
Archangel prepping fire.
That all turns out, but it's got to be a fair deal.
No, they don't give a fuck.
And that was a big part of the $5 million a day.
And I want to talk about China, but just staying on this idea of the economy. Your inauguration, the Trump effect. Are you?
It spiked because I was elected president. It spiked because of anybody else. It spiked because they see what.
Market instability is also spiking in the. There is one metric that's spiking. All right.
Yeah, he's gonna say that the dip is because of Biden, but how can the dip because of Biden happen after the rise because of your election? The fuck? Fucking okay.
The volatility index. Or like Seth Rogen. As far as other parts of the it's spiking in either direction. As a matter of fact, it just keeps going. So, it's still a spike. It's a spike. Let me tell you, it's a big spike. Someone should get in on this VIX. Someone keeps telling me the VIX, the volatility index, they're saying it's like a new technology, I think. Volatility. You know, they call them groceries. I call them, as they call it, volatility index, as they call them.
They know what I'm going to do with the tariffs and everything else. And I think it's actually working out better than we anticipated. Did you see oil prices? Did you see gasoline is now below, in many cases, in many states, below $2 a gallon, $1.98, $1.99, $1.97?
What's the connection, brah?
The question, sir, is when the stock market spiked, you said this is the Trump effect. When the numbers weren't so good earlier this week, you said it's the Biden effect. Are you only taking ownership of the good numbers and not the bad numbers?
Well, I think he did a lot of very bad things, and despite some of the bad things,
Yeah, but how does this bad things affect after your good things fucking start kicking in, bro? What the fuck? Don't you get it, you fucking lying cunt?
But he was bad on the border. He was bad on the economy. We had the worst inflation in the history of our country. Look, Biden gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. People, it didn't matter what they made. They were losing. Of course. Now take a look at
What do you mean it doesn't matter what people made? What people make fucking greatly influences how much they have to pay for shit. What the fuck is wrong with you, dumb bitch?
They said Easter is going to be a disaster.
Deploying
and we had thousands of eggs, and they were down 87%.
Yeah, a lot of that, of course, spike was because of bird
flu as he had.
When does it become the Trump economy?
It partially is right now, and I really mean this. I think the good parts are the Trump economy, and the bad parts are the Biden economy.
Of course.
You rarely ever hear such clarity, okay? Yeah, the good parts are good, the bad parts are bad. It's how
operating objects.
Burn your fucking
past that point. All politics is devolving into cults. Even with, like, the debate that I had, the quote-unquote debate that I had, everything is turning into cults. Everything is basically turning into, like, I parasocially love this person, Donald Trump. He is my goat. He is my king. He is my legend. He can do no wrong. Everything he says is awesome. The rest of the internet, what was this guy up to on the Friday debate versus he kind of killed himself. And all of the edgelord and political commentators, slop tubers. Consistently saying, that was your reloading. Aspect to what I do as well. Get out front! A broad spectrum of different ideologies on a daily basis. That's pretty clever. And entertain back and forth from people who disagree with me. So, you know, spectrum of opinions.
Immigration, you look at what happened with immigration.
They're right where we want them. Finish the job.
11,888 murders. More than one person. Think of that. And they're in our country. Now, we've gotten a lot of them out, and we know who many of them are. But why would anybody do that? Why would anybody, who could do such a thing where they'd allow hundreds of thousands and even millions of people into our country, or criminals and murderers at the highest level? Who would do that?
But, sir, you acknowledge when you...
They never stood a chance. Proceed to extract.
Oh, hell yeah! That's how it's done!
Who's laughing now?
Actually, I do take responsibility when it's wrong.
Ultimately, I take responsibility for everything, but I've only just been here for a little bit. Stock market, look at what's happened in the last short period. 9 or 10 days in a row, or 11 days.
Bye-bye.
Well, psychologically, I mean, the fake news was giving me such press on the tariffs. The tariffs are going to make us rich. We're going to be a very rich country.
So let's talk about the tariffs. Now, I want to ask you about something you said this week. Got a lot of attention. You were in a meeting. I'm going to quote you.